Hi, this is Iris from Cashmere Goat, and today we're going to be talking about make one right and make one left, a technique that you use when you want to provide increases and shaping to a knitted garment. What we're looking at here is my Anker's Summer Tee, a design by PetiteKnit. This garment is a top-down knitted construction, and it starts with a pattern of knit one, purl one ribbing, and then a couple of rows where there is round yoke increases that are dispersed around this entire circumference. And that continues on until you finish the yoke, the round yoke, but you do continue with a couple of raglan style increases just at the underarm to provide that additional shaping for the sleeve that you will be making later. So let's take a closer look. If I zoom way in here, what you can see is that I have a center line of just knit stitches, but on either side of that, I am increasing on either side. So to the right of that center stitch, it's a make one right. To the left of the center stitch, it's a make one left. And it's actually really great to look at it with this self-striping yarn because it's so evident that unlike the kind of round sloping increases that we have here in this section, once we get to the raglans, it's a very sharp turn that is created by the make one right and the make one left. Here's my trusty sample swatch. So you are easily able to see that I've got a nice straight swatch here, but then because I've started with some increases, make one rights and make one lefts in two places on my swatch, it has a very distinct increasing shape at this part. So again, if we zoom in, and this time the yarn isn't quite so colorful, so it'll be a little bit easier hopefully for you to see. What we have is a nice straight center line of stitches that runs up between these two markers. So this is just a single knit stitch, nothing fancy, nothing different. However, on the right side of the stitch, starting here, you can see I have increased with a make one right. And then that stitch continues on out here. So that's one increase. Same thing on the other side of that central knit stitch. Right here is where I have increased by doing a make one left, and that continues on over here. So I've got this shaping on either side of the center stitch that kind of begins to look like a little bit of a Y. And one thing to remember, or maybe to help you remember, you always are doing a make one right on the right side of this center stitch with the marker, and then a make one left to the left side of this central stitch marker. So that's a really easy way to remember. So here I am approaching my stitch markers. So I'm knitting right up to the right of that stitch marker, and then I'm taking my right hand needle tip and I'm using this as really a tool to lift up the bar that exists between my two stitches. So my right hand needle tip lifts it up, and I'm going to insert my left hand needle tip from the back to the front, and then knit into the front of that stitch. This is the one that always feels a little bit awkward to me. Move my stitch marker, knit one rope, knit one plain, move my stitch marker. Now, because I'm on the left side of that stitch marker, I need to make one left. So again, my right hand needle tip is my helper to lift that bar. And then this time, my left hand needle tip goes underneath the bar from front to back. And now I'm going to knit into the back of that stitch. And that's my make one left.
Let's slow this down just a little bit.
I'm approaching my markers from the right side, so I know that my first make one will be make one right. I insert my right hand needle tip to lift up that bar between the two stitches and place it on my left hand needle tip, coming with my left needle tip from the back to the front and knitting into the front of the stitch. Next, I will move that marker, knit my center stitch, just plain stockinette, move my left marker, and now that I'm on the left-hand side of the center stitch, I'm making one left by lifting the bar between the needles, placing it on the left needle with my needle tip going front to back this time, and I'll be knitting into the back to insert my needle tip in the back and then wrapping the stitch and bringing it through and shifting it off of my needle. And that's make one left. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a like, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. Happy knitting from all of us at Cashmere Goat in Camden, Maine.